What's up peeps, and welcome back to Sorel Plays, and today I'm doing a video about creations. We're going to be doing a couple of special effects here. The first one I want to show you is basically giving more interest to your calf by making a roof. So we've got two different coloured blocks here. I've got a little space ready on the floor as well. You can arrange these in any kind of design you want. You can play about with it. Just plonk them randomly. You could, for the Valentine's event, you could use a heart shape. So you could try to use the most suitable blocks, of course, taking care to check the top of the block rather than what the block looks like on the outside mainly. So I'm arranging these in a random kind of pattern, making it asymmetrical, just to get a little bit of interest in your calf. When you come back to it, it could be a focal point. Just trying to use different ideas to make it more interesting. Now, if you decorate a lot like I do, you get a little bit bored of the same kind of ideas and, you know, the standard way of using the game. So if you look through your blocks, check what the tops are like, and decide what sort of patterns you want to create. I'm going to go for this midsummer forest theme. And again, just randomly place them. Depending on how many of the wall you have, of course we can't buy these ones anymore. You can do this as large as you want or as small as you want. You can do a few in your place. You could do one big one in the middle. Now, if you really wanted to, you could do your whole calf with a roof. And recently, we have been lucky enough to hear about how it's done with overlaying objects from the great Tommy Pham, friend of mine on Facebook, who stumbled across this next bit I'm going to do, basically utilizing your space. I mean, it's basically like using up the space as you normally do, but being able to cover some of your objects and your items. In this case, I'm going to show you how to cover your stations. So there's the design. I think that looks pretty sweet. You could add all different colour blocks. You could make it look a bit like there's lights in your roof, depending on what's available with the walls. I'm going to start removing some of these now to move on to the next part. If you want to do this, putting some of your stations underneath this building, so that if you're tight on space, you're not compromising just because you want a roof. So start by removing the blocks. Make enough space to put your machines and to also remember where they are, as they will disappear momentarily while you're doing this. So we go into our extra layout and we say edit layout, and we pick a station that we want to put under the wall. So let's go for the bread maker. So you store your item. You go back in and take it out, but don't tick it, just cross out so you come out of that layout and go back into your usual layout onto your main one. Now once you've done this, you'll notice that the machine has disappeared. So now I'm going to show you what you need to do with regards placing the machine in the right. So if you want to utilize this space, rather than just having a roof with, you know, wasting a lot of space, you could still make sure you use your space. So you can still put some machines and stuff under there and ensure that you are still making use of your space. So you put your machine here. This is where it's going to go once your roof is done. And then we go into our second layout, and you say edit layout, We take our machine out, our bread maker, we store it back. Of course it could have already been out, then all you do is store it again. When you take it out, don't press the tick, you just press the cross to exit this layout, which will return you to your main layout, and you'll notice that the machine's disappeared. And we can proceed to put some walls down where we want the machine underneath the walls. So you make sure you fill up as much space as that machine took, and then you visit someone's CAF to make sure you're saving it. So we go to Stellar's, we come back, and as you can see, the machine is glitched into the walls and you can still make your bread. So let's do that again. So we've got the bread maker. Now you can group these up so you remember where everything is, because once it's covered up you won't be able to see where your machines are. And I generally put all the old machines, the first machines we ever got, all together. Now with this one, it's going to be, the top of this is going to be visible because it's quite high. So for this example I'm going to use something shorter, smaller, and we're going to put our dairy station in here. You can put it anywhere you want. You can put it over here. If you want to use as much room as you possibly can, you can square those, butt those all up together. But bear in mind that the side of this machine will show a little bit like that one does. It will glitch through the wall a little bit, so you can layer it with another bit of wall if you don't want to see that. So we put our machine down, we go into the extra layout and say edit layout again, and then we will put away our dairy machine and we'll take it out again, but we won't press the tick, we'll press the cross. It'll ask you, before this layout can be made active, all essential items need to be placed down. You just say OK, go back to your other layout. You can see the machine's gone again. We'll put the walls over here where the machine will be, so you still keep your design, but you've managed to use the space underneath these walls instead of wasting it. I mean, it's no different to if you simply use your machines within this space anyway, but we're adding a roof to it, so we've got a little bit of a good thing going on, because we get the best of both worlds, a roof, and also manage to use our space as well. So we go back to Stellar's again, and then go back to our restaurant, and here it is, it's underneath the wall. So I'm just going to do that one more time so you get the idea. So we move away as many walls as we need for another machine to fit in. So let's go for the spaghetti maker here. Put that down. Go into your extra layout. Edit layout. We find our spaghetti machine. Take it back out and don't press the tick. Cross it out. Press OK. When you go back to your main layout, it's missing again. And then we put these back on. So we're going to go back again. So we get our design and we can keep our machines. And as you can see, it's glitching through here. If you don't like that, you just get a few more of your walls and just cover up the area where your machines are showing as glitches. Now we can add windows and stuff to this. So we'll go for the white window just to stick with the colours that we've used. Now if you use the flat side of the window, not the part that takes up space, you can put them flat against the the walls, and we can also put doors there too. Turn it around again, and there it is. And the other thing I wanted to show you, which I find makes my designs a lot more interesting, we're going to go for some dark floor. We'll go for the blue, and we're going to outline all of this to make shadows underneath, which will make it look like it's floating. So if you think about what direction the sun comes in, when the shadows protrude outwards towards us here, it looks like the sun is coming through the back of the building and your shadows end up in front. The yoga mat's really nice for this if you want to buy that. It's coming up soon for the Indian event. We'll just put this one here. And the way you can give yourself an idea about how that works is when this item is actually floating before we put it down, you can see the green bit, which is a reflective green, is like a shadow and instantly makes it look like it is floating. So what you do is the same thing, but using a darker floor works best because shadows are darker. Let's go for that blue one again. Now, when it's an object that isn't square, as you can see here, that doesn't do much right now. You need to fill underneath it too, because a shadow would naturally do that. So there it is. It works better for more squarer items because this doesn't look like a realistic shadow for an item that isn't square. So if I show you with some walls, just like we did with the building over there. So you can see, for example, with this one, that when you put some shading on the floor just in front of the object, it looks like it's floating. And there it is. Have fun with that one. I do enjoy this, and I think it adds a lot of depth to your design. And I use the shading quite a bit. And the roof, of course, that's going to come in handy. As you can see, you know, the pattern we've created with the roof is rather interesting. So enjoy playing about with that. You can try it with all different items, larger items, smaller items. You can make your whole project float, your whole calf could float, as long as you put the shading in the right places, and where the sun's hitting it from the back, all the shadows should be in the same place. If you want the sun hitting it from the right, then you need to do your shadows to the left of the object. If you want them to the left, you do the shadows to the right of the object. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it, and I'd like to see all your designs. Peace out.